Hello snowboarders of the internet, I am your host TC and today I will be reviewing the Signal Compass. If you're interested in this board or any other products that I mention in this video, make sure you're going down in that description, clicking those affiliate links, and that way you don't have to go searching for this board or any other products yourself. This board is equipped with Signal's 3D flat camber profile. So what that means is you're gonna have a flat camber profile on it with 3D running from the nose to the tail. So what that's gonna do is that flat camber profile is gonna give you that pop, stability, and drive that you're looking for. And that 3D underneath is gonna make it a little bit more catch-free on rails. Also gonna make it a little bit easier to get on edge from the toe to the heel or the heel to the toe, however you wanna say it really. The Compass comes in a 147, a 153, and a 156. I rode this board at Copper Mountain where it was a beautiful sunny day. There wasn't a cloud in the sky and a very slight breeze pretty much where the snow stayed nice and fast. It was pretty sloppy and slushy, but it wasn't that slow snow that really just grips your board and just throws you forward. It stayed nice and fast all day. There were some firmer spots, but not true crusty spots or anything like that where they softened up towards the end of the day and they pretty much were just in the shade in the morning. But overall, it was a great day. I can't really complain about it because the runs were empty and what minimal push piles there were, they just turned into side hits and became just super fun to pop off of. I used my Ride Fuse boots and my Jones Mercury Phase bindings. When we're talking overall flex on this board, it's coming in at softer than the middle of the road, especially because you don't actually have any camber in this board, it's just flat. So it doesn't really take that much to really flex into it since it's already at that flat profile. When you're foot steering this thing, it feels very similar, maybe even a little bit softer than it, but really nothing too crazy. It does have a very fluid flex to it, just because there isn't any pretty much hybrid profiles in it. It's just that nice flat, so it just stays really consistent throughout the board. When we talk about stability, we have to really talk about that 3D in the base because that affects the stability so much. It's running from the nose to the tail, and I felt it quite a bit. I was not impressed with the stability on this board. When I was just flat basing, trying to go, I could feel it trying to just wander on me where I always had to have an edge engaged. But I mean, since the board is fairly soft torsionally, it wasn't that bad to really just keep the front flat and engage that tail edge or vice versa depending on the conditions and what I was doing. But overall, was not very impressed with how stable this thing is, and it's definitely coming in on that lively side more than the damp side. So even in those slushy conditions, I did feel what I was riding over pretty well, especially when I got to that firm shaded section. When I was just all-in this board, I felt like I really had to set an edge on it. Even going off of rollers or side hits, anything like that, I had to put that metal to the snow. Otherwise, it felt pretty washy where when I popped, I didn't know which way that tail wanted to kick, whether it be my toe side, my heel side, or just straight out. I had really no idea where it wanted to go, and I wasn't a huge fan of that. As I took it to the jump section, it was almost terrifying letting the lip do the work on this thing. When I did let the lip do the work, I was full panic mode, trying to get this board back under me just because it felt super washy. Even in that sloppy snow, it was not stable whatsoever. When I took it to the medium line, I only took it there a couple times because I was actually scared on it. It was way more fun off of these smaller jumps and that sort of thing where I still really had to set that edge to make sure that it felt stable to me, where popping it is the way to go. Don't let that lip do the work because it can get a little washy, a little unpredictable. When I was landing on this thing, I was just trying to set the edge as hard as possible, just because if I didn't, it kind of wanted to wander on me and it felt like I was almost going to catch an edge. So I pretty much tried to stay away from the jumps on this thing. It was not the most confidence promoting board out there by far. While I have you here and you're enjoying this video more than I enjoyed this board, you might as well like, subscribe, click that bell, and turn on those notifications so you don't miss any of our scheduled programming. When we're talking about buttering on this board, it's not going to be the most precise thing. I actually thought that it would be a little bit easier to butter on than it was. And my only complaint with it was when I was actually buttering on the nose or on the tail when I was going sideways, I felt it was a little hard to keep that edge engaged to where I can hold on it and use that edge to pop and spin out. It felt a little bit more washy where I was just dragging the nose and the tail around. Wasn't a problem because it was super catch free, but it wasn't my favorite. There is a slight pop out on it, but nothing crazy. You're gonna wanna help it along if you are trying to spin out of your butters. Honestly, it was way better on the steel than it was just on regular snow. Where when I was sliding this thing sideways, super catch free, had zero problems with that. I came from the top ropes on one of them where just popped up, went for a board slide. This thing stored up that energy, sprung me off. I actually landed back on the rail and just kept sliding. I've never had that happen before. Normally I get sprung one way or the other, or I just know I'm about to die. This thing, it surprisingly just landed back on the rail nice and comfortably and just kept sliding. So that was absolutely amazing, and I get it. That's what this board is made for. It's made for that catch-free rail action. So great job on that one, guys. But you know, overall, it was totally fine on rails where you could tail press on it. Wasn't anything nuts because you're not using your edges on rails, so it just felt like a normal snowboard when I was tail or nose pressing on it. It was just that sliding in between the feet. Try not to come from the top ropes. It will get a little bouncy on you, but if you just slide it normal, don't do anything crazy, it's gonna perform extremely well, nice and catch free. You don't have to worry about those edges digging in or anything like that. This was actually the best facet of this board, was just being able to ride it on rails and ledges. Apart from jibbing, carving was actually kind of fun on this thing. I would say it's more fun definitely in that slushier, softer stuff than it is on the firmer snow, but you know, it was still actually kind of fun where I could really have to, or I pretty much really had to lean into this thing to get that edge to engage, but it felt a lot like a wakeboard where you could really lay it over and then just know it's gonna hold you. Now, I will say it's not gonna Euro carve the best out there. Like when I tried, it was on a nice, soft, smooth groomer, but I could just feel it just kind of still skipping out, not having the cleanest carve out there. And that pretty much goes for all the carves. They're not gonna be the most precise thing. They're gonna be more on that surfy end, but they're still pretty good. Where those short, quick carves, they're totally fine. It's easy to get over because you do have that 3D in it where it naturally wants to roll on you. So that's not a problem. The medium carves, as long as you keep that speed limit low and just really dig in, you're gonna be totally fine. And it will hit those larger carves, just like with the medium ones. Don't try to take it crazy fast. Like, it's not gonna hold up quite as well as you would like it to, but it'll still do them. Just nice cruisy long carves. You're totally gonna be good. The main thing to take away about carving on this board is it's gonna be loosey-goosey. It's not gonna be precise, so don't go in there expecting this thing to just really cut up the mountain like a knife. It's not gonna be like that. It's gonna be more like that butter knife rather than like a steak knife. Rider in mind. The rider for this board is somebody that wants to really just get on the steel with very minimal consequences. They want to be able to learn how to ride rails, but not have to be able to deal with catching the edge, banging into the rail, doing all that stuff that we pretty much all had to do before, back before there was 3D in the base there. This person's also probably going to be riding in soft, wet snow quite more often than on that firm hard pack. Probably, honestly, this rider is probably riding in California, Big Bear, that sort of thing where they don't need to have something with great edge control. They just need something that's going to be able to slide some steel and surf it out when it's nice and soft. If you're looking for another way to get involved in the Angry Snowboarder community, head on over to Angry Snowboarder VIP. What is it, you might ask? Sure, I could explain it here, but we have a great video over there, getting into it really in depth. As you've probably come to the conclusion from this review, it's not my favorite board out there. I don't really think it's made for me, where I like something a little bit more precise, but I understand who it's made for. And I mean, for who it's made for, it is a good board. Like, it is nice and catch free. I did like that I didn't die on that board slide, where I bounced off, came back on, and just rode away, which was actually great, but that's kind of where it ends. It was fun when it was surfy, but like, it's just not for me. I like something with a little bit more precision, a little bit better handling, and Obviously, better pop, just because you guys know me. I like my airtime, but I mean, it's still a solid board. It's definitely better than any other board that I've ridden with that 3D running all the way through. I'm not going to mention any names because no free ads here, but you know, for what it is, it's all right. Not for me, but it could be for you. Comparable boards: the Bataleon Disaster Plus, the Rome Mechanic, and the Gnu Finest. Recommended bindings: the Union Ultra, the Ride Specter, and the Salomon District. As always, guys, I've been your host TC, and this has been my review of the Signal Compass. If this board just doesn't sound like it was for you, like it wasn't for me, why don't you go check out one of the videos for the comparable boards, and I'm sure there's something there that you're gonna love.